July the 22nd, 2024. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for the roll call, please.
Councilmember Abdelgawad.
Here.
Councilmember Baker.
Present.
Councilmember Barber.
Present.
Councilmember Burke.
Present.
Councilmember Circo.
Present.
Councilmember Ingert.
Present.
Councilmember Holman absent. Councilmember Mills.
Here, present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present. We have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll now move on to, we don't have anything under presentations and awards or personal appearances this evening, so we'll move on to staff reports. Mr. Feuerborn.
Thank you, sir. I would ask Mr. Salisbury to make a report for Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Feuerborn. In addition to the report that was submitted in the packet, I have one additional thing. The Sunset Lane Extension project will be out to bid this week, so hopefully that'll be moving forward here before fall. So that concludes my staff report. Thanks.
Thanks, Trent. Do you have, where are we at with Kurzweil? I've had a couple of inquiries.
So we've had the geotech report done, and now we need to look at the design and get that on board and get the design going.
What about, we looking 3, 4, 5 months down the road?
It would
maybe?
probably be, hopefully next construction season would be
Okay.
my bet.
I thought so, and that's what I've been kind of letting folks know. Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Trent? If not, Mr. Feuerborn, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Salisbury. I would ask Mr. Mustine to make a report for Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, members of the council. We continue our Parks and Recreation Month, and so weekly we've been doing some different activities with our staff, engaging with the community. Right now, if our meeting goes quick enough, you guys can stop by Memorial Park and make some friendship bracelets with our seasonal staff. They're out there tonight, so putting them to good use there. Also, just to piggyback off what Mr. Salisbury said, the east parking lot on Hawkridge Park for what we would call the amphitheater parking lot is also included in that bid with Sunset.
Oh,
so
okay.
we should see that moving forward as well once we get those bids in and review those. Just a couple more things outside of my written report. August 16th, Friday night, is our Rugged Raymore, the mini mud run at Hawkridge Park. So my staff are looking forward to, we got some new obstacles, kind of rerouted the trail, or the course, and looking forward to that. And then our trails project continues. We're getting close to wrapping up Recreation Park and then moving over to Memorial Park. And in addition, we are preparing the RFP for the Good Parkway and the Linear Park section of those things to do work this fall. And that concludes my staff report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mustine. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Mustine? Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Feuerborn.
Thank you, Mr. Mustine. I would ask Ms. Harmer to make a report for Communications.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Want to start with communications update. Ms. Garcia is promoting Parks and Recreation Month with special events and staff spotlights on our social media. Throughout the entire month, she's been very busy promoting our parks, but it's been really great to see what she's been able to do. Both of us are preparing for the fall issue of the Review and the Raymore Parks and Rec Program Guide. And in the Arts Commission news, the Commission is hosting a new temporary artwork at Memorial Park through spring of 2026. This is the Christmas cactus sculpture, which so far we've shared that it was installed 2 Fridays ago, and we've had really great comments, and everybody seems to think it's a really fun piece. So we're glad to have it for 2 years as part of our temporary rotating art program. And so far the Commission has hosted 4 concerts this season. We have 3 more to go. So second Fridays of the month, August, September, and October. Coming up in August is the Casey is Cali, the traditional Mexican folklorico dancing and mariachi band. And that is, all the concerts start at 7 p.m. at the amphitheater. And lastly, I wanted to I know you all know already, but I just wanted to reiterate, for Culver's 40th birthday, they decided to have a fundraiser for the Raymore Community Foundation, which is our nonprofit organization here. And they donated 10% of all of their sales from last Thursday, July 18th, to the foundation. The owner-operator Reed Henrik and the GM Alec Rath presented a check for $1,521.77 to the foundation last Friday, to Mayor Turnbow, the president of the foundation. And I just would like to thank Culver's for choosing the foundation and thank everybody who ate at Culver's on Thursday to help support the cause. And also, I would like to thank the people who volunteered their time. We put on some aprons and ran some food for a few hours at Culver's Thursday night. So along with me, we had Community Engagement Coordinator Alex Garcia, our Accounting Assistant Courtney Palmer, Parks and Recreation Director Nathan Mustine, Parks and Recreation Office Assistant Greta Knabb, Economic Development Director Jordan Lee, Police Officer Aubrey Hart, and our Arts Commission Vice Chair Cole Young. So I just wanted to make sure that they were recognized for their time and participation in this fundraiser.
Yep.
And that's my report this evening for you.
All right, thank you. That was a great event up there at Culver's. Had fun. Also, could you report on the Heart? When is it going to be moved?
Yes, the Heart that is in front of the Wingstop and Mod Pizza will be leaving sometime around the second week of August.
Okay.
So you have a few more weeks to go get your photos and enjoy it here before it's moved and auctioned off.
Yep. All right, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions, Ms. Harmer? Okay, thank you. Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Ms. Harmer. Next week is the 5th Monday of the month, so the council has the night off unless we have something come up during the week here that would be of a pressing nature for a work session. That concludes staff reports tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions of any staff or Mr. Fearborn? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on in the agenda. We have no committee reports tonight. We have the one item under the consent agenda. Actually, on your agenda, the date is July. It says July 9th, but the meeting minutes are correct in your packet of July the 8th. I would entertain a motion to dispose of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Abdelgawad.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, including item A, City Council meeting minutes for July 8th, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Motion's been made and seconded to approve this consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Thank you. We'll now move on to unfinished business. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 3906 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3906 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, establishing an intergovernmental agreement with the Raymore Peculiar School District to provide school resource officer services for schools in Raymore and as requested at East Middle School.
Thank you, ma'am. If there are no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Abdelgawad.
I move that we approve Bill 3906, the 2024-25 RAPEX School Resource Officer Agreement.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3906. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 3904 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3904 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with T.C. Fuller Construction for the Fox Ridge Drive Storm Inlet and ADA Ramp Improvements Project, City Project Number 24-455-201, in the amount of $182,018.25, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you, ma'am. If there aren't any further questions, this second reading on the item, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of it.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Abdelgawad.
I move that we approve Bill 3904, award of contract for Fox Ridge Drive Storm and ADA Project.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3904. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. I will now move on to just the one item under new business. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 3896 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3896 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract proposal with Viking Kives Midwest, Inc. for the purchase of anti-ice spray system in the amount of $82,875, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a staff report?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Mr. Salisbury to make a staff report on this particular item.
Thank you, Mr. Fearborn. Mayor and members of the council, tonight we're requesting the purchase of 3 anti-ice spray systems for our 3 dump trucks that are used in the snow plow operations. They'll still use the same product that we used last year, but the main benefit is these hold 925 gallons of pre-treatment versus the old system held about 400 gallons. So it allows the guys to be out on the road a lot longer. In addition to that, the new system can spray up to 3 lanes wide, so on 58 they could go down and back theoretically in one pass and be done. So it will save them a lot of time on the pre-treatment operations. So I brought along Justin Paith, who is our operations supervisor, if you guys have any additional questions, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trent. It's my understanding, and maybe Justin maybe want to explain how that thing works, but I know I've been told that, come on up this is our first time to get to see you in front of us here. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, sir. So this is going to eliminate the white lines, right? It's more of a clouding type spray.
We would have both options. It's just the spray tips. The typical, when you see the white lines, they call that a jet spray. That's basically, it leaves a gap in between, and then as it snows, the salt brine that's there creates a solution, and that's what helps us basically create the buffer between the asphalt and the snow.
Okay.
So we would have both options. We've always just went with the jet. We can definitely test out the spray and see how that would work for our application too.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it had been explained to me the other way as well. I didn't realize we had options on that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Mr. Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It would seem to me that with having to go back half as much, you're going to save a lot of money on gas.
Time,
And
money,
Personnel
yeah.
doing the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
Truck would be on the road twice as long versus twice as many trips to the shop.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mr. Mills.
Just a question. How do we, I guess the current sprayers we have, do we have a method where we're able to dispose of them and recoup any money, or are they just worn out and not be able to use anymore? Or?
Basically, they're just tanks that go in pickups or 550s. So they're just liquid tanks. And then we buy spray bars and then just salt pumps that go inside the tanks. I wouldn't say we'd recoup anything, but we still could possibly have to use one for tight areas or cul-de-sac that's got a bunch of cars. That's a possibility, so I wouldn't think we'd get rid of them right off the get-go, no.
Okay.
And if we were to get rid of them, sir, we always auction off items like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Circo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any economical difference between a jet spray and a white spray on the materials that will be coming out of the vehicle? Or is it going to be financially about the same?
I believe it would be the same.
Would be the same.
Everything's controlled in the truck, so if we get it calibrated to the gallons per minute based on our speed, it would be the same.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you, Justin. Appreciate
you.
you. All right. If there's no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Abdelgawad.
I move that we approve Bill 3896, award of contract for anti-ice spray systems.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. The motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3896. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously 7-0. We'll now move on to public comments. If anyone from the public, and I don't see too many, so we'll close public comments. And tonight, to conserve a little time, I'll just open it up, the floor, if there's anyone on the council that cares to make final remarks before we close this evening, I'd open it up. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs. Abdelgawad.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Motion's been made and seconded for adjournment. Any discussion? All those in favor?